Kristen and I dropped our dog off with Kristen's brother, who was living with his uncle at the time, y'all's uncle. Mm-hmm. And we'll leave out the location, but we dropped her off while we went on vacation, and we got back from vacation, and we went to pick her up, and this was on the way home from their house. We were driving down a 4-lane highway, plus up there was a middle lane too. There was a turn lane, so there was 2 lanes, middle lane, 2 lanes, and we're driving, and in the middle, in the turn lane, from a distance, we can see, or I guess I'll tell from my perspective, because at first I didn't know if you could see this too, but I see what looks like a man wearing all black, sitting on a bucket in the middle of the street, in the middle of the highway, in the turn lane, sitting on a bucket. Okay, as we're getting closer, the man begins to stand up off the bucket, right? And as he's standing, I realize it looks like he's never going to stop standing because of how absolutely tall he was. And as he's standing, he has his thumb like this, and he's going, I'll sorry to the audio listeners, but for the visual watchers, he's going
like he's standing up and then leaning over, like arched sideways though.
So he's standing up very slowly, arching himself to the side with his thumb in the air, and it's just a very unnatural movement.
Yeah, it's like a very smooth and never-ending movement, it seems.
Yes. And so abnormally tall, very strange that he's sitting on a bucket in the middle of the highway, all black, couldn't make out his facial features. And I was like kind of speechless as we're driving up, and I'm seeing this. And then finally I turned to you and I'm like, as we like passed him, I was like, did you see that? And you were like, yeah, what was he doing in the middle, and why was he so tall? And like we were like, and we even discussed like should we turn around, and like
I wish we would have.
I wanted to like record it, like, you know, you hold your phone up and record how freaking weird this looked. But I think at the time you're like, no.
I was a little spooked, and I was completely prepared to not even mention anything, because like, oh, you're just overreacting, that wasn't as weird as you think it was. And then you said something, I was like, okay, it was weird.
Yeah, like the way that he looked, it was very, very strange the way that he looked, and it brought about an eerie feeling.
Yeah, because I remember having an eerie feeling too.
Yes.
And I was like, this is a sign of something.
Yes, and we
silently not saying anything, and was prepared to never say anything.
And we discussed on Terraform, you were like, maybe he was a harbinger of like the pandemic, because this was 2019.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was right before COVID ended up hitting. Like, I really want to know if anyone else has seen this, because surely we're driving down a busy highway. Someone else saw this. So like, I'm looking specific to our area, and I'm also just looking for anyone who can describe the same thing that I saw. So I looked up so many different things: creepy hitchhiker, man in black, tall man. I looked up tall man was one of the things that ended up yielding a result. And so that's what I ended up finding, was something titled Tall Man on the paranormal subreddit. So that's what I'm going to read now.